Hi everyone, Cheryl here from Love and Light Yoga, and thank you for joining me for this Vinyasa flow practice. So this will get you out of your head and into your body. It will raise the heart rate, maybe get a little bit of a sweat on, and just increase overall mobility and flexibility. So you won't need anything, just yourself and your mat, and whenever you are ready, let's begin. Okay everyone, so let's begin by meeting in a tabletop position on our mats with wrists under shoulders, with knees under hips. And we're just going to take a second here to find our center. So maybe close the eyes and just take a few deep breaths. And think about grounding down through the palms of your hands. Taking a few deep breaths, keeping the spine nice and neutral. And then after your next exhale, finding a slight engagement through the core, and then just starting to take the upper body into some big circles. So everything just moving around here, bringing the weight forward and over the wrists, and then sending the bum back towards the heels. Just bringing as much movement in as we can, starting to warm up the knees, the wrists, the shoulders. And then at some point switch the direction and just take a few the other way. And then bring yourself back to center, back into tabletop. And from here, just flip the hands under. So we can do one hand at a time, or we can do both together, just stretching out the fronts of the wrists, maybe finding a little rock forwards and backwards. And if this is too intense, just do one hand at a time. This is just starting to warm up the wrists here because we will be moving in and out of a few planks and downward facing dogs. So then when we have stretched out the wrists, bring both hands back to the floor and then just sit your bum back towards your heels. Take a little child's pose. So walk the fingertips forwards, try to rest the head down to the mats. Melt the chest down into the floor and just take a few deep breaths here. And maybe if it works for your body, maybe we bend the elbows and bring the hands up above the head. Just feeling this deeper stretch through the backs of the arms. Take one more full breath here. And then bring the palms of the hands back to the floor. Lift the hips up and find yourself coming back into tabletop. From here, we're going to take a few cat-cow. So inhale to look forward, drop the belly. Exhale, chin to chest, round the back. Inhale, roll forwards, look forwards, tailbone up. Exhale, chin to chest, round the spine. Just continue here, just moving in time with your own breath. Inhaling forwards, exhaling under. And then eventually bring yourself back to center with a nice neutral spine. Spread your fingers nice and wide, tuck the toes under, and then just hover the knees off the floor and hold it here. And start to feel that little fire in the belly start. Breathe deeply, stay strong through the core. Take 3 more breaths here, we got this. Keep pressing the hands into the mat, keep those knees hovering. And then on your last exhale, go ahead and lift the hips high, send them back, downward facing dog. Maybe walk the dog out here by pedaling out through the feet, keeping the hips high. And then coming back into center. We're going to take a few breaths here in our downward dog. So can we press the hands into the mat? Can we lift the hips a little bit higher, send them back a little bit further? Take a nice big inhale and a full exhale. Another big inhale and a full exhale. On your next inhale, we're going to roll forward into our plank. As we exhale, we're going to bend the elbows, slowly lower all the way to the mat. Untuck the toes and inhale to lift up into your cobra. So the chest is facing forwards, deep bend through the back. Take a breath here. And then exhale, slowly lower the chest back to the mat, press into the hands and come back to your child's pose. Bend the elbows, bring the hands into prayer position overhead and just take a few more breaths here. Maybe use this as an opportunity to check in with yourself. Check in with your body, notice how your body's feeling. How those movements felt in your body today. Take one more breath. And then bring the hands back to the floor and press back up into your tabletop. Nice. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under and hover those knees once again. See if we can keep the knees a little lower this time. So we want them just ever so slightly hovering off the mat. We want to keep an engagement through the core and feel some strength starting to build through the arms. Take 3 deep breaths here. Keep those knees as close to the mat as we can without actually touching. And then on your third exhale, lift the hips high, send them back, downward facing dog. Nice, we pedal out the feet again. Walking the dog out, stretching through both sides of the body. And then come back to center. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky, bend the knee, step the right foot in between the hands. As we inhale, lift the fingertips up, high lunge. Back leg is straight, front knee is bent. Take 2 deep breaths here. Stay strong through the legs, strong through the arms. And then go ahead and release both hands down onto the mat, framing the front foot, and inhale to reach the right hand up high. Twisted lunge. Maybe the gaze looks up towards the top hand. Take a full breath here. And then on your next exhale, we're going to try to lift the arms up. Keep looking towards the back of your mat, reaching the arms wide. Holding it here, take 2 more breaths. And then bring the left hand back to the mat. Take the right hand up to the sky for 1 more big inhale. As we exhale, right hand comes back to the mat. Step the right foot back and exhale to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, walk the dog out. Catch your breath here. And then come back to stillness. On your next inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky, bend the knee and step the foot in between your hands. Keep the back toes tucked under and then lift the hands all the way up into your high lunge. Breathing deeply here, front knee is bent, back leg is straight. Take 2 deep breaths. And then slowly bring both hands back to the mat, framing the front foot. Ground the right hand and inhale to reach the left hand up to the sky. Twisted lunge. Maybe the gaze looks towards the left fingertips. And then after your next breath, we're going to lift the upper body up, reaching the right arm forwards, the left arm back, catch your balance and hold it here in this twisted position. The arms are wide, the legs are strong. Take 1 big inhale and a full exhale. And then bring the right hand back to the floor. Take the left fingertips up to the sky. Take 1 more breath here. And then left arm comes back to your mat. Step the left foot back into your plank pose. Hold it here, gazing down in between the hands. Inhale to roll the weight forwards. Exhale, keep the elbows hugging in and lower down halfway. Inhale, press into the hands, tuck the toes under, come into upward facing dog. And we hold it here. Take 3 deep breaths. And then after your 3rd breath, plant the knees and send the bum all the way back to your heels. Find a child's pose. In your child's pose, your knees can be together or they can be as wide as your mat, just whichever feels better. But maybe bend the elbows, bring the hands once again up overhead. And just take a few nice, deep, smooth breaths here. Taking a moment to just slow everything back down. Notice how the body is feeling, your energy levels. Taking 1 more breath. And then slowly releasing the hands back to the floor and bringing yourself back into your tabletop. Back in tabletop, fingertips spread nice and wide. We're going to tuck the toes under and we're going to hover those knees. So lift the knees, engage the core. Take a few deep breaths here. And then maybe take your gaze back towards your toes and we're just going to tap 1 knee at a time to the floor. So a little tap and a tap and a tap, just taking each knee down at a time, and keep this movement nice and controlled. So it's just a very gentle tap. Let's go 1 more time on each side, and then come back to that hovering tabletop, and then lift the hips high, send them back, downward facing dog. Just like before, walk the dog out. So bending through each knee at a time. And then eventually come back into stillness. On your next inhale, lift the right leg up to the sky. As we exhale, step the foot through between the hands and inhale to reach both hands up. Take 2 full breaths here in your high lunge. Strong through the arms, strong through the legs. Go ahead and release the hands back to the floor. Plant the left hand, reach the right hand up to the sky. Find that twist. Hold it here, keep breathing. If we want to go a little bit further, we're going to lift the upper body up, keep the right arm reaching back, left arm reaching forwards. Holding here. Take 1 more breath. And then bring the hands together in front of heart center. And go ahead and bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Take your gaze down towards your feet and see if we can step that back foot up to meet the front. Meet me in a twisted chair. Hold it here, keep the knees deeply bent. And then release back through center, so we're in our chair pose here, and reach the fingertips up to the sky. Keep the soles of the feet on the floor and keep the spine nice and long. Take an inhale to reach up and exhale, hands together into chair. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, back to chair. 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, chair. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, chair. Hold it here. Take 1 full deep breath. And then meet me in a twisted chair on the other side. So the right elbow coming to the outside of the left knee, twisting that chest towards the left. And then ground down through the left foot and see if we can step the right foot all the way back into your twisted lunge. Hold it here. Try to twist that chest as much as we can to the left-hand side of your mat. And then release the upper body up. Left arm reaching back, right arm reaching forward. Keep that nice deep bend through the front knee. Take 2 breaths here. Breathing controlled. And then bring the right hand down onto your mat and reach the left arm up to the sky. Holding it here, sinking the hips nice and low. On your next exhale, bring that left hand back to the mat, framing the front foot. Step that left foot back into your plank. Inhale, roll forwards. Exhale, slowly lower. Stop halfway. Inhale, press into the hands, upward facing dog. Exhale, ground the knees. Back to child's. Just breathe it out here. Slow the breath down. Take a few more slow, deep breaths. Mindful inhales and exhales. And then after your next exhale, or just whenever you are ready to release, we're going to come into our tabletop once again, onto hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide, tuck those toes under, engage the core as we hover the knees, and we hold it here. Maybe take the gaze towards the knees, and we might find that gentle little tap, tap, tap with the knees to the floor. And think about every time we're taking the knees to the floor, we're not banging the knees down, we're just very softly touching the floor. We start to feel that waist working, that core working. Let's go one more time each side. And then come back to hovering table, hold it here. Take 1 more breath. And then lift the hips, send them back. Downward facing dog. Maybe we pedal out through the feet. Pedaling out the feet, bending each knee at a time, keeping nice and strong through the arms. And then come back to center, back to stillness. On your next inhale, we're going to reach the left leg up to the sky this time. As we exhale, we step the foot through in between the hands. Inhale to reach up into high lunge, holding here. Breathing slow and deep. And then release both hands to your mat. Ground the right hand down and reach the left hand up to the sky, twisting the chest. From here, press into the front foot, send the left arm back, reach the right arm forwards into your twisted lunge. Hold it here. Keep that front knee deeply bent. And then bring the hands together at heart center. If we can, bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Take your gaze to the mat and step the back foot up to meet the front in your twisted chair. Keep soles of the feet on the floor. Keep that bum as low as possible. And then come into center, into your chair pose. Soles of the feet grounded, hips reaching back and down. And then reach the hands up. Maybe take the gaze up in between the fingertips. As we inhale, straighten the legs, stand up. Exhale, hands to heart center, chair. Inhale, reach to rise. Exhale to chair. Inhale, reach to rise. Exhale, chair. Last time here. Inhale, reach to rise. Exhale, chair, and hold. Maybe we twist to the other side. We might bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Holding here, twisted chair. Keep the hips nice and low. And then take your gaze to your feet. This is going to help with balance. Keep the right foot where it is and step the left foot as far back as we can into our twisted lunge. Maybe take the gaze up to the sky. And then after your next breath, lift the upper body up, reach the right arm back, left arm forwards, twisted lunge. Holding it here. Take one more big inhale and a full exhale. And then bring the front arm down to the floor, reach the right arm all the way up to the sky and lean back into this pose. So we're opening through the front shoulder. Take one more breath. And then bring the right hand back to the floor. Step the right foot back into your plank. Inhale, roll forwards. Exhale, slowly lower. This time come all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes. Bring the elbows to the mat and meet me in your Sphinx pose. So pressing into the palms of the hands. Lifting the chest up and rolling the shoulders back. Think about slowing the breath down here. Maybe send the gaze over the right shoulder. And then come back through center over the left shoulder. Back through center. And then slowly lower the chest to the floor. Nice. From here, we're going to bend the knees and bring the feet as close in towards the bum as feels good. We can either do this one at a time or we can do both, but we're going to reach one arm back, see if we can take hold of that foot, and if this is enough, we just stay here stretching out the front of the right thigh. If we want to go for both sides, we can reach the opposite hand back, take hold of the opposite foot, and we're just thinking about bringing those heels as close in towards the bum as we can. So we can either do this one at a time. If you're doing one at a time, maybe switch sides now. And take a few deep breaths. And the closer we get the heels in towards our bum, the deeper the stretch we're going to feel through the front of our quad muscles. And then either stay here Or if you want to, we might start to roll the shoulders back. And as we roll the shoulders back, we might start to lift the chest and lift the gaze. As we do that, we might start to press the tops of the feet into the hands and lift up into your bow pose. And hold it here and take a few deep breaths. And then after your next exhale, slowly lower everything back to the floor. Release the feet, take the feet back to the mat, bring the hands in under the shoulders and sit yourself back into one final child's pose. Maybe this time we take the forehead on top of our hands and we simply breathe it out here. Take a few deep breaths. And then you can either stay in this child's pose for your last few breaths of this practice, or maybe if you wish to come into a seated position, you can walk the hands back towards the knees and then just come into whatever seated position feels right for you, whether that's on your knees, whether that is in cross-legged. And then whichever position you're in, go ahead and just close the eyes. And as we close the eyes, just think onto your breath. Thinking about nothing else but your inhales and your exhales. Not trying too hard to slow the breath here, just noticing that as we come to stillness, the breath will begin to naturally slow down. The heart rate will begin to naturally slow down. And we might start to bring our awareness onto our bodies. And just take a second here to notice how you're feeling within your body. And this could mean physically how you're feeling. It could mean emotionally, mentally how you're feeling. But just notice. And whenever we ask ourselves that question, usually the first or second word or phrases that come into our head is usually the correct one. So we don't need to overthink it. And just take a few more deep breaths here. So nice big inhales in through the nose. Maybe nice releasing sighs out through the mouth. And if you wish to sit here for a little while longer, you might want to pause this video here and catch a few moments in silence. Or if you do wish to go about the rest of your day, you might open up through your eyes, bring your awareness back into the room, and we'll finish with one final inhale as we reach the hands up. And exhale, draw the palms together and down to your heart. And thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you feel good after that practice. If you do, please let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you would like to see more from me, please subscribe. And whatever you are doing, have a fantastic rest of your day. Namaste.